Joe. He'll walk you through the concepts on the go. If there's any device you've got, see the show. Cowboy Joe. Cowboy Joe.
Hi there folks, Cowboy Joe here with a recapitulation of section C 3.21 on fluids and pressure. And your goal by the end of this video lecture will be to calculate pressure, state and apply Pascal's principle, and state and apply Bernoulli's principle. Fluids exert pressure evenly in all directions. For example, when you pump up a bicycle tire, air particles are constantly pushing against each other and against the walls of the tire. Pressure can be calculated by dividing force by the area over which the force is exerted. The formula would be P equals F over A. The SI unit for pressure is the Pascal, abbreviated PA, which is equal to the force of 1 Newton exerted over an area of 1 square meter. For example, calculate the pressure of a box of books weighing 1,500 newtons sitting on a floor. The area that the box meets the floor is given to be 0.346 meters squared. 1,500 newtons would be the force, and 0.346 meters squared would be the area. Inserting those in and dividing, we end up with 4,300 pascals. And since a Pascal is very small, a lot of times you'll see kilopascals. Example number 2, a child weighing 364 newtons sits on a 3-legged stool, which also has some weight, 41 newtons. The bottoms of the stool's legs touch the ground over a total area of 0.00193 meters squared. What is the average pressure that the child and the stool exert on the ground? So our formula for this one has to be the total weight pushing down, which would be the weight of the stool plus the weight of the child. So those two together would be on the top. And on the bottom would be our meter squared number, our area. Adding those together, we get 405, increasing our sig figs to 3. Divided by 3 sig figs gives us 3 in our answer, so 210,000 pascals. And again, a pascal is a very small unit for pressure, so a lot of times you'll see kilopascals. So this would be 210 kPa. Number 3, the atmospheric pressure at sea level is about 1.0 times 10 to the 5th, 100,000 pascals. What is the force at sea level that air exerts on the top of a desk that is 1.52 meters long and 0.76 meters wide? Well, again, here's our formula. The area would be length times width, assuming the desk is a rectangle. And this number up here is not your force. This is the atmospheric pressure, and it goes in for the P. So we have 100,000 times the product of the length and width, which gives us 120,000 newtons of force. Example 4. A car tire contacts the ground on a rectangular area of 0.12 by 0.17 meters. If the car's weight is 7,110 newtons, what pressure does the car exert on the ground as it rests on all 4 tires? Well, again, force divided by area. We have our force given in our area, but there is a small trick to this one. There are 4 tires in a car, so we have 4 of the length times widths. So dividing all that out, we get 87,000 pascals, or 87 kPas. Physics puts a lot of pressure on me. I hear ya. I hear ya. Let's look at Pascal's principle now. also called Pascal's law, which states that in a fluid at rest in a closed container, a pressure change in one part is transmitted without loss to every portion of the fluid and to the walls of the container. The principle was first enunciated by the French scientist Blaise Pascal. So on our diagram, we can see that there's a watering hose placed inside a garden. Now that watering hose has little holes. This principle, Pascal's principle, says the pressure of this fluid inside this tube is undiminished. So the pressure pushing the water out on this end is the same at the other end of the hose. So you can water your plants equally with this system. And that is why slip-in slides work as well. According to Pascal's principle, the pressure is transmitted without change throughout a fluid. So if this is a hydraulic lift, this is a hydraulic fluid, and this is some kind of piston over here, some round circle that this force is pushing down on, and then there's a bigger piston over here that another force is up, then this force over A is going to be equal to this force over A. So we'll see that a small force can lift up a big weight. So let's say this hydraulic lift shown in the figure below makes use of Pascal's principle to lift a 19,000 Newton car. If the area of the small piston that's over here that you're pushing down with equals 10.5 centimeters squared and the area of the large piston equals 400 centimeters squared, what force is needed to push down on the piston? Well, in this formula, what we got to make sure is that this weight of the truck is on this big piston. So the bigger piston is the 400 and it's 19,000. We want to make sure the 19,000 sits on top of the 400 centimeters squared. This is the only way you could probably screw these up is if you put the 19,000 over 10.5 centimeters squared. Cross multiplying, we have 19,000 times 10.5 divided by 400 gives us an answer of 500 newtons. So with only 500 newtons of force, we can lift 19,000 with this particular hydraulic lift. In a car's liquid-filled hydraulic brake system, the master cylinder has an area of 0.5 centimeters squared, and the wheel cylinders have each an area of 3 centimeters squared. If a force of 150 newtons is applied to the master cylinder by the brake pedal, what force does each wheel exert on its brake pad? So again, we got to make sure that this is applied to the master cylinder. 150 needs to be on the master cylinder's area. So here's the master cylinder area. So 150 is on the 0.5. Doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right. And then we have 3 on the left on the bottom for the area, and then I cross multiply. 150 times 3 divided by 0.5 gives us 900 newtons. So 900 newtons of force would be the force lifting up. Let's try another one. Dentist chair are examples of hydraulic lift systems. If a chair weighs 1600 newtons and rests on a piston with a cross-sectional area, so this weight is on this piston, that tells me already how to set it up. What force must be applied to the smaller piston? Smaller piston of 72 is here. Again, we cross multiply. You multiply the side of the x with only numbers. That would be 1600 times 72, and you divide by the number on the other side. Divided by 1440 gives us 80 to 2 sig figs newtons. All right, one more on Pascal's principle. A mechanic exerts a force of 55 on this hydraulic piston. 55 is on the 0.015. 55 is on the 0.015. There it is set up. This is a meter squared. It goes on the bottom. The piston that the automobile sits on has an area of 2.4. What is the weight of the automobile? So again, we cross multiply. When we set our proportion up, we multiply the side of the x that has only numbers, 55 times 2.4, and divide it by the other number, which gives us 8,800 newtons of force. Bernoulli's principle. Viscosity is the resistance of a gas or liquid to flow. The resistance of a gas or liquid to flow. And Bernoulli's principle really deals with viscosity. And it states that as the speed of a moving fluid increases, the pressure decreases. With less pressure, we sort of have a lift force. Let me explain it with the wing of an airplane. If the air is coming in this direction, then this little particle right here that was right beside this little particle will reunite after the wind goes through. So this particle travels a greater distance that this particle goes underneath. So since it travels a greater distance, in the same amount of time, it's moving faster. Faster moving air causes a lift force. So there's a bigger force pushing up, actually, on an airplane wing. So that's it. In summary, we calculated pressure. We stated and applied Pascal's principle, F over A equals F over A. And then we stated and applied Bernoulli's principle, which says faster moving air causes less pressure, which results in a lift force. And that's it, folks. Cowboy Joe out.
Cowboy Joe. Cowboy Joe.